And welcome back, everyone, for Wild Card Week of the 2018-2019 NFL season. I hope everyone's having a great start to their year. What better way to bring on 2019 than to take the man's money? That's what we're going to do. Starting with Billy, here are his picks.
All right, what's up, Billy B? Back with you for Wild Card Weekend. I'm going to give you my picks here and a predicted score. So first pick we got is Indianapolis +1. I just think Indy is on a hot team right now. Texans quarterback Watson is the most sacked quarterback in the NFL this season. I think the offensive line of the Colts will be able to keep Watt and Clowney at bay a little bit. Andrew Luck is having a phenomenal season, and I think that they'll squeak this one out. I have the Colts winning 27-24. Next pick is Seattle +1.5 against the Dallas Cowboys. I just think Seattle, with Russell Wilson, he's just a special player. Playoff time, he just comes alive. I think they'll be able to go on the road. They're, with a bit better running team this year as they were in the past, and I just think Russell Wilson will make enough plays to squeak out the win here. 24-17 Seattle. Next pick is the Philadelphia Eagles +6 against the Bears. The Eagles, with Nick Foles, just have some type of magic. They just play better when Nick Foles is behind center. I think this will be a very, very close matchup. I actually think the Bears are going to win 24-21, but the Eagles will cover the spread. Last pick is the Chargers +2.5 against the Baltimore Ravens. I just don't trust Lamar Jackson in the playoffs to be able to make enough plays to win this game. I have the Chargers winning 24-16. Lamar Jackson's first playoff game. Just think he'll make some mistakes. The Chargers will limit him running, make him throw to beat them, and I just don't think he'll be able to do that. So take the Chargers +2.5. So there you have it for my wild card picks. Good luck this week.
And now here are my picks. The first game has the Indianapolis Colts going to Houston, where the Texans are 1-point favorites at home. The total in that game is 48. Both these teams have been pretty hot in the second half of the year. The Texans actually had a 9-game winning streak before that was snapped. Since then, though, they've only won 2 of the last 4 games against the Jets and the Jaguars. Not a very good team. Meanwhile, the Colts have won 9 out of their last 10. Their only loss was against the Jaguars, 6-0 game. They were their own worst enemies in that game. I think they had 3 occasions where they couldn't convert on 4th down and a bunch of turnovers. The Texans have lost wide receiver Demaryius Thomas, and that's a huge loss for them. He had been brought in to replace Will Fuller, who was lost earlier in the year. As I mentioned, the Colts won 9 out of their 10 games, including a couple of weeks ago, beating the Texans 27-24, I think it was. They also smoked Dallas, who was really hot as well, 23-0. Andrew Luck had a bit of a slow start to the season. Well, he missed all of last year, so there was some rust for sure. As the season's gone on, he's gotten better. He's the comeback player of the year for sure. And you know what? The Colts defensive unit is probably the most improved unit from last year in the entire NFL. A very good defense. And that's bad news for Houston. They were worst in terms of getting sacked. I think the quarterback got sacked 62 times all in the entire year. There's a funny connection that head coach Frank Reich has with Houston. Remember, he was the offensive coordinator last year for the Philadelphia Eagles. Philly went on to win the Super Bowl. If you remember this guy, back in the 80s, he was playing for, I think, Maryland, and there was a game that they were playing the defending champion Miami Hurricanes. They were losing, I think it was 31-0 at the half, and he came back and won the game, like a real big comeback. And then he did it again as a professional when he was with the Buffalo Bills. I think he'd replaced Jim Kelly, and they were losing. Buffalo was losing at home 35-3, and he came back and won that game. It was the greatest comeback in all of playoff history. That game was against Houston when they were the Oilers. So there's a bit of a connection there. I think Indianapolis is going to win this game, and it'll be a close game, but I think they'll win it by close to a touchdown. I'm going to predict the score in this game: Indianapolis 24, Houston 18. So take Indy against the spread and take the under 48. The second game goes on Saturday night as the Seattle Seahawks go to Dallas where the Cowboys are 2-point favorites at home, and the total in this game is 43. If you're a fan of the running game, as I am, this is the game for you, as Seattle led all teams in the NFL in rushing yards, and Dallas running back Ezekiel Elliott led all running backs in rushing yards. Despite missing the last game, they actually sat him out, and so he'll be very fresh in this game. Like I said, this is going to be a game where there's a lot of rushing. Dallas is very good against defending the run, though. I think they're number 5 in the league, so they're going to have a big advantage in this game. Every team is better at home, but especially Seattle. I mean, you could say that about maybe Denver. They always seem to do much better at home than they do than they are on the road. Seattle only won 3 games all year away from Seattle. I think they beat Arizona, worst team in the league. San Francisco, one of the bottom feeders as well, and Carolina. Remember, Carolina was in the middle of that. I think it was a 7-8 game losing skid, and they beat them there. So they've only won 3 out of 8 away from their building. Now they go into a Dallas building where it's a dome. It's, Seattle doesn't have the advantage being outside with the 12th man. In a quirk of the schedule, the Seattle Seahawks have only played 2 of their last 7 games on the road. They've all seem to be at home, and of those 2 games, they lost one of them, a very bad game against San Francisco. So they're not very good, or they're not as good away from Seattle as they are in Seattle. Despite the fact that this is going to be a running game, don't think that there aren't going to be a lot of points scored in this game. I've been making a lot of money betting the over on Seattle games all year. I think there will be points scored. I just don't think Seattle will be able to score as much as Dallas. So I'm going to predict the score to be Dallas 27, Seattle 23. So lay the points, take Dallas -2, and take the over 43. The third game is on Sunday as the Los Angeles Chargers go to Baltimore, where the Ravens are now 3-point favorites at home, and the total in this game is 41.5. How about rookie quarterback Lamar Jackson? Since he took over, the Ravens went from out of the playoffs to winning their division and have gone 6-1 down that stretch. Their only loss was against Kansas City, obviously the top team in the AFC. Along the way, they beat the Chargers, I think it was 22-something. And that was just a couple of weeks ago. I watched that game, and the Chargers did everything they could to lose. I think the very first pass that Phillip Rivers made was intercepted. There was a pick 6 at the end of the game as well. Lamar Jackson was averaging about 140 yards a game throwing the football. I think he got 200-something in that game, while 67 of it was from the tight end of all people, the tight end. So kind of lucky for Baltimore. I don't want to take anything away from what they have accomplished this year, but everything that could have gone right, or most of the things did, and the reverse can be said for the Chargers in that game. Obviously, Phillip Rivers has been around for a long time, one of the most experienced quarterbacks in the NFL. Well, Lamar Jackson is going to be the youngest quarterback to ever start an NFL playoff game. So we'll see what happens underneath the bright lights in when everything is on the line and everybody is watching. These two teams sort of like to hog the ball a lot. I think Baltimore led the league in time of possession. The Chargers have always been that way too. That's why I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I do think ultimately the Chargers are going to win. I'm going to predict the score in this game. Los Angeles Chargers 20, Baltimore 16. So take the Chargers against the spread and take under the 41.5. And the fourth game that we're going to be looking at is one that I can't wait for. Philadelphia Eagles going to Chicago. The line now has the Bears as 6.5-point favorites at home, and the total in this game is 41. Well, Nick Foles is going to be leading the Eagles into the playoffs, where we heard that one before. It seemed to work out pretty well the last time. I don't think he's seen a defense quite like this, although Minnesota's defense last year, a team that he put up a lot of numbers against, were very good. The Bears, though, lead the league in not only points, the least amount of points allowed, they've also scored the most touchdowns. I think they've scored 6 defensive touchdowns. They play a great game on both sides of the line. They punch you in the face defensively. They punch you in the face offensively, running the ball. Despite the fact that Chicago has a very good defense, their offense is better than people think. They were averaging, I think it was 16 points or so last year. They averaged 26 points this year. And say maybe three points a game is from the defense. That's still a substantial increase from last year. They don't get enough credit offensively. However, they are kind of raw. They were 5-11 last year, and now they're the division winners, whereas Philadelphia, these guys are battle tested. I think this is going to be a very close game. I think it's a game that it wouldn't surprise me if the Eagles won. It wouldn't surprise me if the Bears blew the Eagles out. But I'm going to predict in this game the Chicago Bears will score 27 points and Philadelphia will score 24. So take the Bears straight up, but take the Eagles -6.5 and take the over 41. Okay, here's my parlay and my teaser play. I'm going to move to the side and put the games here beside my big fat head. For the parlay game play, we'll take the Indianapolis Colts on the money line, and we'll take under 48 in that game. We'll take Dallas -2 against the spread, and we'll take over 43 in that game. We'll take the Chargers on the money line. And as far as the total goes, this one's going to be close, so I'm going to skip this total on this parlay play. We're going to take the Eagles +6.5 against the spread and over 41. So a $25 bet will get us $2,982.42. For the teaser play, we're going to tease everything that I said. So we'll tease Indy to make them +7, and we'll tease the total up and take under 54. We'll tease Dallas and make them 4-point favorites, and we'll tease that total down and take over 37. Are you following me so far? In the Chargers game, we'll tease the Chargers to +9, and we'll bring that total up to 47.5 and take the under. We'll actually play the total in this game because we're teasing it. And in the Philadelphia Eagles game, Chicago game, we'll tease the Eagles to 12.5-point dogs, and we'll take over 35. Now, a $25 bet will get us $325. Good luck. Let's take the man's money.
All right, so there you have it for our wild card picks. Hopefully give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave your picks below. Let us know who you're taking for the wild card. And as always, for Gio, I'm Billy B. Let's take the man's money.